So earlier this morning, Adam Schefter went on a Sports Center and he gave his opinion on what he thinks is going to happen most likely between the Packers and Aaron Rodgers and that entire situation. And so I want to read here exactly what he had to say, and then I'll give my own personal thoughts, whether I agree, whether I disagree with what he has to say here. So he had said this earlier. My sense is there continues to be more and more signs about him leaving Green Bay. And I think in the end, my sense is ultimately it will come down to whether he wants to play elsewhere, which would be really the New York Jets, or whether he wants to retire. To me, those are the two most logical options and the two most likely scenarios here. But again, we have not heard from Aaron Rodgers himself. We have heard the Packers talk about Jordan Love and how much belief they have in him and how much progress he's made, and I think he's their quarterback of the future here, clearly. And they continue to wait for the decision from Aaron Rodgers, who knows that at some point in time, he said the Packers have had conversations about him with other teams, and that's why I believe that it's going to either be the New York Jets or retirement in the end. And we'll show how this shakes out, but there's nothing yet from Aaron Rodgers. It has to come soon. So Adam Schefter seems to believe that from whatever information he has gathered himself, he has come to the conclusion that it's likely that Rodgers either retires or plays with the Jets. So it seems, according to Adam Schefter, that he feels that the Packers bringing back Rodgers isn't a super likely scenario. And while I honestly do think, in my mind, there's a slightly higher chance he ends up going elsewhere compared to the Packers, I still think there's a sizable percent chance that he does return to Green Bay. I think that potentially they could find some kind of agreement, and if Rodgers is able to, go along with what Brian Gutekunst wants to do, I think there's a small chance that happens, but I still think it's slightly likelier that he goes elsewhere, that he gets traded. And so I created my own percentage of what I think the possibilities are according to me. You can comment yours down below. I said 15% retirement, 39% he's back with the Packers, 41% Jets, and then 5% Raiders. I did 41% Jets because they haven't signed Derek Carr yet. I feel like they'd probably rather have Aaron Rodgers. I probably would, but they would have to give up draft capital. And then when it comes to the Raiders, it did come out a few days ago, according to The Athletic. I think it was Vic Tafur who said that the GM and McDaniels have said that they don't plan on pursuing Aaron Rodgers. So it seems like that could be less likely than earlier. But according to some sports books, the Raiders are still have the highest likelihood of signing Rodgers trading for Rodgers, according to those sports books, higher than even the Jets right now. So that's why I still give the Raiders a potential chance here, because we don't always know if the GMs and the coaches or whoever it is are telling the truth or if they're just saying different things, because last year, right before the Seahawks traded Russell Wilson, Pete Carroll said they had no plans on trading Russell Wilson, and then like a week or two later, they trade for him. So just because they say they're not pursuing Rodgers doesn't mean they aren't. It could mean it, but it also could mean nothing, and so that's why I still give the Raiders a good chance. But as I said, I still think there's a chance he comes back to Green Bay, and I don't think it's super small. I think it's pretty similar to probably going to another team as well. I feel like it's sort of like a coin flip, and it really just comes down to the discussion they have with each other and sort of how they both feel about what each other want when it comes to this organization. But I do think that both sides over the past couple of months have made it, if there is a breaking away from each other, if Rodgers goes elsewhere, I think both sides have sort of prepared for that. Rodgers has said he has no hard feelings. The Packers want to move on, and the Packers have said if he wants to get traded, they're fine with that as well. And so that's why I still think him being traded there's a good chance that happens. And I think, too, when you add in Brian Gutekunst saying that the Packers plan to have Jordan Love start here eventually, it feels like sometime soon Jordan Love will be starting. Maybe if the Packers and Rodgers can come to an agreement, it's 2024 that Jordan Love comes in and starts, but I still wouldn't rule out 2023. I think there's a good chance that happens. But those are my thoughts. Please comment your thoughts down below. And if you want to stay up to date with all Packers news, Packers content, feel free to subscribe to the channel. That's all I have for this one, and I'll see you guys next time.